Glad you have your pay stub handy. I'll be reviewing your benefits with you, but before we get started, I just want to ask you a question. Have you ever seen this book before?
No.
I'm not surprised. Doing this for quite a few years, I've had two people who think they saw it. It's the Federal Employees Almanac put out by Federal Employees News Digest. It comes out once a year. You'll see that 2008 edition. Nothing dramatically has changed. The reason I don't buy them every year is it's $16.95, $5.95 shipping and handling. You can order it if you like. Take the information. I'll save you this money, because if you've ever read a government publication, by the time you're done, you don't remember what you said, what you read, what was going on, your question. All right, I'm going to answer those questions. We're going to go over your FIGLI, which is your Federal Employees Group Life Insurance. I'll go over the retirement system you're in, and I'll also go over your TSP with you.
Okay.
Before we get started, just wanted to review your pay stub. Do you know how to read this?
Not totally.
Not totally. How long have you been with the post office? 10 years.
10 years, right?
Get 20, how many of these a year?
26, 260, I think.
260.
Yeah.
Still haven't had those questions answered.
No, not at all.
See, we're going to educate you today. Right here is your base rate of pay. Your base rate of pay is $48,036. Over here in your deductions, you'll see the word retire. Do you know what that little 8 is?
No.
That 8 means you're in the FERS retirement system. You're helping contribute to it. That's $13.18 per pay. This year you put in $360. You'll see down here at the bottom where it says USPS retirement, that 1808 at the bottom.
Is how much I'm getting?
No. That's how much you contributed as of the first of the year. You want to know exactly what you've contributed. You take this year to date, 300, and add it to this year. This number, you probably think it never changes, that every once in a while it looks different.
Mm-hmm.
That's because it changes at the end of the year.
So that's what I put in
right
into the government in my retirement ever since I started.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. You'll also see here your FIGLI code. IN stands for insurance 2V5.
Okay.
Okay, that's your FIGLI code, and I'll go over that with you when we go through the workbook. You also have one allotment here. Do you know what that's for? Neither do I. If you know, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I find a lot of people, they're contributing to something, they don't have a clue what it is, never got paperwork on it, so you might want to take a look into it if you're not sure you are paying somebody something. And your TSP here, that's your thrift savings plan. That's 1/3 of your retirement.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting 10% into
Right,
it.
yeah.
Okay? All right, before we get started, just want to show you a little bit about me. We've partnered with a couple of different unions, the National League of Postmasters, with the Armed Forces Benefit Association. We go over their option B. You're kind of young now, but you may hear people in the post office, little gray-haired people running around there complaining about how expensive things get.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go over that with you in a minute. We also work with the National Association of Letter Carriers, who support, but kind of tell you, you know what, it's your responsibility to find out what your benefits are. You see those gray-haired people running around the post office,
Mm-hmm.
None of them happy. That's because they heard their whole life, you know what, benefits are great, don't worry, you're taking care of them. When they get ready to retire, they go in and they go, I'm out of here. 30 years, I'm done. They go, here's what you're going to retire on. They go, I can't afford to live on that. That's why they're still there, and they're not happy. That's why you can't move up any further, because they can't afford to leave. So you kind of got to wait for them to die.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Here's a letter from OPM, the Office of Personnel Management. I am not with the post office. I showed you we work with several unions. You'll have people running around the post office with badges. I'm letting you know I'm not with the post office. However, they do tell you that nobody from FIGLI will ever contact you and go over your benefits.
And they never have.
Have they lied to you yet?
Yeah, no.
No, see, so they're truthful. They're inept at times, but they're truthful, okay? They do tell you you should shop around, and there's reasons, because things get very expensive. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a look at a couple of options for you, all right?
Okay.
This is my license in the state of Texas. I'm also securities licensed, so if we need to go over any investments or any questions like that, I can do that with you, okay? I have a letter from the Department of the Army. I do the retirement for military as well. I used to be the president of a nonprofit credit counseling company, and I have a couple of letters from the Navy and Marine. I used to teach financial responsibility to their troops when they were coming in. Sheriff's Association, blah, 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 enough about me. Let's get into your stuff. Okay?
Okay.
You have any questions so far?
Probably too many.
I'm putting you to work.
Okay.
Okay. As we go through, I'll tell you what to write down, but we kind of want to keep track of what your benefits are. Put that under there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let me see here. All right, on your pay stub, we're gonna start with your FIGLY first, your Federal Employees Group Life Insurance. You'll see here you have IN, what do we have, where is it? IN2V5. 2 is your age group, 35. V lets me know that you have basic life. Option B is a multiple of your pay. You can have up to 5, you opted for 4.
Right, okay, yeah, I remember that a long time ago.
Okay, good. You have option A, which is a flat $10,000. You also have option C, and that last number lets me know how many units of option C. So you have 5 units, that's the max you can have. Okay, and I'll go over what that means in a second. Your basic life insurance is your base rate of pay, which is $48,036, rounded to the next 1,000 plus 2,000. So you have $51,000 of basic life insurance. Now, basic life insurance from postal employees is free of charge. Everybody else in the government pays for it except postal employees. One benefit.
Why?
Because the union, the post office picks up that portion of it.
Oh, okay.
However, when you retire, it's like a divorce. You get to pick up that benefit. Okay?
Oh, okay.
It'll also reduce in retirement, and I'll go over that with you in a second. Now, they also have what's called an extra benefit. 35 and under, it doubles your basic life, and it's also free of charge. So you're 35 right now, it will double your basic life of additional $51,000 of coverage. You'll see, though, this is a decreasing benefit, so as you get older, the benefit decreases, where at age 45, it's gone. Okay? So right now, you have $51,000 of basic life, $51,000 of extra benefit, which terminates at age 45,
Okay.
and next year it's going to start to decrease. You also have option A, which is a flat $10,000. Very inexpensive. You'll see here at age 65, it'll go up to $13. It'll never go above $13. That's a very good benefit. You've probably seen Alec Trebek on TV, Colonial Penn, $7.95 per unit. Think of it like this. This would be 10 units because a unit's $1,000. So 10 units for the same coverage, you pay $80 a month. You've got it at 13. Option A and basic, very good benefits. Okay? No matter what anybody ever tells you, don't get rid of it. Because in retirement, it'll reduce, but it'll be free of charge. It's kind of like a final expense you'll never have to pay for again after the age of 65 or when you retire. Okay?
Okay.
Good on that?
I think so.
That's the cheap stuff, that's the good stuff.
Okay.
Option B. You can have a multiple up to 5 multiples, you pick 4. It comes right here off of line 2, 49,000 times 4 is $196,000 of option B coverage. So between basic, extra benefit, your option A, and your option B, you have $308,000 of total life insurance.
Okay.
Might not want to tell your wife that.
No, definitely.
Option B is what gets very expensive. We talked about that before. I'm sure you've heard a lot of people.
A lot, yeah, the post office, yeah.
If you look here right now, you're at 4 cents per thousand per pay period. At 60, you're at 60 cents. Kind of increased quite a bit. If you look here between the ages of 50 and 55, it doubles. Between the ages of 55 and 60, it doubles. You'll see it go from 30 cents per thousand to 60 cents per thousand. From 60 cents per thousand to $1.30. Wow. To the point of ridiculous. Just to give you a short scenario on how it would be in a perfect world, if you don't get a pay raise until you retire, which I'm hoping you will. But look at it like this. Every time, as you get older, your costs go up.
Right. As
you get older and the longer you work there, your pay goes up. So every time you get a pay increase, you get a cost increase. So they give you some money and they take it back away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
This is figured on if you didn't get a pay increase, $196,000. You look here at your increases at 40. Right now it's $1,705 a month.
Yeah, that's pretty cheap, right?
It is very inexpensive. 25 is still inexpensive. But you'll see it'll go at 50, it's $59, $118. If you're looking to retire at age 60, you're looking at $254. Now you've got what, 10 years of service right now, so pretty close to 60 is probably a retirement age you might be looking at, or earlier. Okay. When I'm done with your retirement part, you'll probably look at 60. So if you just write 60 here by option B, again, this cost is very skewed because it's typically between $300 and $400. If you look at your pay increases over years, this would be considerably more expensive, but we'll just keep it at 254 for now.
Okay.
Okay? Over the next 20 years,
So do I need to write something here?
254.
254.
Mhm. Over the next 20 years, you're looking at 14,524. Over the next 30 years, 48,157 in option B costs. Okay? So that's what it would take to keep this amount of coverage, if this coverage was enough for you.
That's pretty expensive,
Well,
isn't it?
it's not too bad.
Okay.
Okay, I can give you a comparison though. I did what's called a simplified issue comparison and also a preferred plus. Now, you told me on the phone, no tobacco, no medication, you haven't been in the hospital actually in the last 5 years, you said since you were born, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that's pretty good. This is just to give you an example of what you've got and how it increases in costs. Because it's called group coverage, everybody's covered.
Mm-hmm.
Overweight, unhealthy, smokers, you have a combined pool where everybody's paying the same rate. No matter what your health is, you get the same as somebody who's healthy. Okay?
Okay.
So it's good for somebody who might have had cancer and beat it, diabetes, overweight, smoker. They're going to get the same rate as somebody who's healthy. So you can look at it as you pay for their rates. Okay?
Okay.
All right, your option B, 14,000 over 20 years, 48,000 over 30 years. If I got what was called a simplified issue, meaning you didn't even have to take a physical, okay? You would look at 8,000 over that same 20-year period, or 19,000 over that same 48-year period. So say 6,000 over 20 years, or almost 30,000 over
Wow.
30 years.
Okay.
Considerable savings. However, if you decide, you know what, I'm healthy and I've got the time to take a 15-minute exam to save a little extra money, you're looking at saving 8,000 over that same amount of time, or 35,000 over 30 years.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. A little bit more in premium now, a lot less down the road. This is where younger people kind of fault. You seem like you're pretty swift on this. But when you're dealing with 40, 45, 50, you're looking at $100, $200 a month, $300, $350 a month. It gets very expensive. The other thing is, right now you're healthy.
Mm-hmm.
You plan on staying with the post office, you're not sure. I talk to people and they can't wait to leave next week. I ask when do you want to retire, they say yes today.
Oh, yeah.
This does not go with you. You get a sickness, you go out of work, you don't have coverage anymore. Okay? This policy will transfer with you no matter where you go. So what you want to do is you want to take a look at it and see what's going to be best for me. Now, do you think keeping this year and paying $48,000 over the next 30 years is in line with what you're looking to do? Or would you like to save $29,000 or $35,000 over the next 30 years?
And I'm not even sure I'm staying. I mean, I think they're eliminating my craft.
Mhm.
So, okay.
So option B,
Yeah,
Just doesn't make sense
obviously,
to
you know, aside from being a little bit overweight, yeah, as if I could get something cheaper and then own it. Yeah.
all right, so let's get rid of this. We don't have to make a decision right now. Oh, that was for 2,000, so for 4,000 more than what you originally had. We could take a look at that in a minute, but let's continue and look at your retirement.
Yeah, that's,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, you'll also see here, you have family coverage,
Mm-hmm.
okay? You opted for 5 units, which is the max. Each unit, $5,000 for your spouse, so the maximum you could have on your spouse is $25,000.
Mm-hmm.
Maximum on each child is $12,500. They're covered to the age of 22.
Okay. I got a few years.
This rate remains the same though, even when the children opt out and they're over 22, the rate for option C is not going to go down. So some things you might want to look at, and I find this a lot with postal employees, they think their spouse has the same amount of coverage as them. 25,000, you know, heaven forbid something happens, just about covers funerals. There's a little left over, but if you ever heard of childcare and how much that costs, some people can't even afford to go to work because childcare costs them more a week than what they earn. So you might want to look into something. I mean, your wife's pretty young. I can run an analysis for you when you're done if you like, just to see 100,000, 200,000.
Yeah. Yeah. We're
What do you
farmers,
think would
too.
be a number you, well, you know what? Let's just take a look at 50 and 100,000 when we're done on your wife
Okay.
and see where we're at, okay?
Okay.
All right. Enough about you dying. Let's start talking about your living, okay? 2 retirement systems, CSRS and FERS. Civil Service Retirement System is CSRS. You've probably heard of it. That's all those old crabby people that are still around.
Mm-hmm.
That
Okay.
ended in 1984, 1985, kind of in that realm. Just to give you an idea, with your base rate of pay here, 48,000, and you have, well, let me check my numbers here, another 22 years before you're ready to retire. Hate to tell you that. That's the earliest you retire, another
Wow,
22
okay.
years. You would have 32 years of service, okay? Now, we projected out with increases 48,000 over 22 years, around 70,000, because that's what it's based off of, your high three. Highest 3 consecutive years of base pay, not overtime differential pay, base pay. There is a request before the president now to change that to high 5, which a couple of congressmen have decided maybe that's a way to save money. They didn't talk about reducing their retirement benefits, just ours.
Yeah, that guy told me that you had talked to him. He told me something about it. So,
Right. Yeah, there's a couple of changes that are coming down the road, and that's why it's important. We sit down now, because even the way that things are now, people with 10, 15, 20 years of service realize there's a supplemental plan. They do need to put more away to make sure they have something. If they're going to reduce more benefits, then there's that much more reason for you to make sure that you take charge of this year. Under the old system, 70,000, high 3, at 62.25%, because that's what you received for 32 years, you would look at 42,000 a year. So that's not too bad.
Yeah, that's a little bit more than half.
Which for some people, you know, I'm making 6,000 this month, and then next month I get 3,000. We're not going to be able to pay the bills. So those are things you want to take into consideration. Now, taking that 70,000 as your high 3, we're going to come over here, and if you remember, I told you, your basic life and option A, keep it, because it becomes free in retirement. What it is, the amount of life insurance decreases at age 65 or retirement, whichever is later, at a rate of 2% per month. So going into retirement, if your high 3 is 70, we're going to be around 70,000. You have option A, which is 10,000. So you're going into retirement with $80,000. After 65, it becomes free, but it starts reducing at 2% a month until it comes down to $20,000 of life insurance.
Forever, okay.
Right? Forever. So it's pretty much final expense. Hopefully by then it's still final expense. 22 years, it might be a little more. By the way, thanks for the water.
Yeah, you're welcome. Glad to get it for you.
So you'll see, you're going to go from about $308,000 of coverage, which by the time you get to that retirement, this will probably be about $400 because of pay increases, down to $20,000. That's why it's very important to make sure you have something in place for yourself. Okay. However, you're not in this service system, so don't worry about it. You're in the new and improved FERS.
I'm glad.
And we all know that anytime the government improves something, it's for your benefit, right?
Right.
Okay, good. You really believe that?
No.
Okay, good. Then we're tracking.
Okay.
We're on the same page. All right, you told me right now you're 35 years old, you have 10 years of service. There are 3 eligible criteria for retirement with full benefits. Okay? First year you'll see is age 60 with at least 20 years of service. You'll have way more than 20 years of service by the time you're 60. Age 62 with 5 years of service, not even a question, but they have what's called minimum retirement age. Okay? Minimum retirement age is if you have at least 30 years of service at your minimum retirement age, which you were born after 1970. So you could retire at 57 years old with 30 years of service, you'll have 32.
Right, okay.
That just saved you 3 years.
Wow, okay.
You have something to look forward to. You only have 22 more to go. Okay? If we take that, it's a very simple calculation. If you retire under the age of 62, they take 1% of your high 3, and if you remember I said your high 3 is your highest 3
general, yeah.
Right. 99% of the people, it's the last 3 years. Okay? What times 1%, which is $700 times the number of years of service you'll have, which would be 32 years, or $22,400 annually. This is this new and improved system. So instead of $42,000, it's $22,000. However, the old system, they didn't pay into Social Security, so they don't get that.
Oh, okay.
Because we might, right?
But
you get to pay into it.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, if we look at your pay stub here, you can see how much you pay a pay period. So I'm hoping it's there. Okay. The other part is your thrift savings plan. They could contribute to thrift, the old retirement system, but it wasn't matched. Okay. So you get a match up to 5%. Now I see you were putting in 10%. What I did is when I did my calculations on your TSP, and I'll go over that with you, I only put in 5% because I wanted to take that other 5% and show you a different option with that. So we'll go over that. Okay. Anyway, so you're looking at $22,400 annually or $1,867 monthly. So you'll have 32 years of service at 57 years old. The month before you retired, you were making $5,834. You go in and tell them you want to retire, and you're gonna get a retirement check for $1,867. That's a difference of $3,967 a month. So that's kind of the shortfall we need to make up between TSP and Social Security to make sure that you're at least close, or any other investments you have. Do you have anything else?
I've got a farm that I operate that, you know, it's a little bit.
So you'll have income, but you're living on that income now, right?
Well, kind of. I'm not making much money on the farm.
Okay. Are you gonna make more money at 57 than you are now?
The land might be worth more than the farm.
So you do have a retirement plan, sell land.
I hope.
Okay, well, I hope it works for you too. What we also have is, so you're looking at a difference of almost $4,000 a month. Mr. Smith, in the event you had to put up with John for 32 years at the post office complaining about everything, if he passed away after retirement, they decided that you could live on half, or 50%, so $933. Now, when this happens, or if it happens, and I hope it doesn't, John, you need to call your mortgage company and let them know that the government has decided one person can live on half as much as two, and they will reduce your mortgage payments, okay? Really? No, they won't. That's at a cost of 10% of your retirement check. So for you to get 50% of 1867, you're gonna pay $186.70, which I need you to put right there.
What, 186?
186.70. And I've got my calculator over there. So if you wanna just add that together real quick. I'm gonna put you to work.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so
441.50.
so out of that 1867, you're looking at a minimum of 400. Now we know that your option B is going to be a lot more expensive, so we could round it and say about 500 a month. That's why it's important to kind of plan now. Okay.
Okay.
Over here, your basic was, let's put 15,000, and then 2,500 your option A. Okay.
2,500.
2,500. It's going to reduce down to 25%.
Okay.
Okay. Now your TSP, you're putting 5% into your TSP, or we're gonna continue to put 5% because that's what the post office matches.
Okay.
You're in the stock market, we went over your funds, you're kind of in some of the aggressive funds. Your balance you gave me on the phone was 58,000, and you'll see here this goes off your base rate of pay. So over the next 22 years, at a rate of 4%, and the reason I do 4% is, over the last 10 years, the G fund, 4.92% return, the F fund, 5.69% return, the C, the S, and the I, the aggressive funds, the C fund lost 1.4, the S fund gained 1.74, and the I fund gained less than 1%.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I'm being pretty generous. And if you look at the G fund, you go, well, I'll keep all my money in the G fund. I'm a very conservative person, so I would be in the G and the F fund anyway. I know everybody says speculate out there, do this, blah, blah, blah. I'm very conservative. However, if you look in the book, and we could take a look at this here, under the G fund, back in the 80s, it was up at 8%. They started TSP. And you'll see right here, the G fund is, you see right there?
Government securities. Yep.
So if they figure
Especially
well-
issued to the TSP, huh?
So if you, I'm missing one right there, there it is. My book's falling apart, it's almost time for a new one. If you have a captive audience who's gonna buy at 8%, and then they'll buy at 7%, and then they'll buy at 6%, you'll just keep
Oh, yeah.
raising your price or lowering your benefit. You'll see here from 1988, 8.81%, it's consistently reduced. You don't see it spiking back up to where now,
It's like half or almost half.
right.
Yeah.
So by the time you retire, maybe it's a little less, so that's why I calculate 4%. If you want me to make you feel good and make you feel like a millionaire, I can do 15%, but I'd be doing you a disservice,
Okay.
okay? So, the way this works is, at 4%, and again, this is nothing more than a guesstimate, you should recalculate every year, take a look at it, and that's why I'm gonna leave this book with you.
Okay.
You can also go to tsp.gov, that's in the back of the book here. Click on the calculator, just follow the instructions, put in your information, and it'll give you that fantasy number at the end of the time. But as you get closer, it'll start to make more sense.
Okay.
As you get closer to retirement, you want to be moving towards the more secure funds, the F and the G.
Okay.
You can't afford 3 years, think about it, let's say you had 300,000, you were 4 years out, and you lost 15%. The next year you lost 9%, the next year you lost 18%. even though that's a 42% return, you're not gonna regain your money.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not putting into it, and you're trying to live off it, you don't need to lose it. So you wanna be moving it this way, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if I take here, you'll see the way this works is, this is per thousand of plan balance. We calculate about 307,000, so I reduce it a little bit, 300,000. If you retire at about 57 to 58 years old, and this is $5.80 per thousand now, this is also reduced over the years. So if we were talking about you retiring today with 300,000 times $5.80, and this would be Mrs. Smith, that you would get 100%, and the event your husband passed away, you would continue to get the same amount. That would be $1,740, which you'll put by TSP there. Above that, 1740. Above that, you put 1867. Okay.
Okay.
Now the other third of your retirement is Social Security. Okay. Social Security now doesn't start until age 62.
Right.
So you could retire at 57. Now I know there's a plan in place for people to get the equivalent of their Social Security. That's also included in that cut. Okay. So we don't know what it's going to pay, but I can show you here in 2017 we'll begin paying more in benefits than we collect in taxes without changes. By 2041, the Social Security Trust Fund will be exhausted. That's pretty close to when you're going to be around there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling you it's not going to be there. What I am trying to tell you is plan as if it's not going to be there. This way, if it is, your worst case scenario is you have more money. You get these once a year from Social Security, feel free to read it. Okay?
I think my wife takes them.
I'm 50 years old. I read it 3 years ago because I went, how come I'm getting less? You know, every year, what do? I open it up, I look at this page, and I go, oh, I should be over about 1,000 now. Next time I get it, I'm down to 690. I'm going, you know what? I don't know what's going on there. So I don't count on Social Security. If it's there, great. If not, that's fine too. Now, you were making in retirement, the month before you retired, what were we at? 5,008.
You're right.
Let's call it 5,800. What is your total here?
Well, let's see, if I don't have Social Security.
35. Call it 3,500. So you're off about $2,000.
36.
I rounded.
Okay.
Okay. That's why the supplemental retirement plan is so important.
Okay.
Okay. Now I took that other 5%. It's about $96. I'm going to round it to just make it an even.
What other 5?
That 5%. You were putting 10% into TSP.
Okay.
I figured your TSP
That number.
with you putting in 5% and then matching 5 because it's a stock market. It's up and down. What we want to do is look for something that will give you a guaranteed return to. You want to be diversified.
Okay.
Okay. Supplemental retirement plan is long-term. You own and control it. It's payroll deducted. So right now you've got that 5% coming out. You could actually start this without changing your pay, your current income coming in out, except $3 a week.
Okay.
Okay. You can increase it. You can decrease it. You can put lump sums into it. You can put up to $10,000 a year. It's your retirement plan. You had mentioned before that you may be leaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you leave, this is portable. You can take it with you. Let's say when you leave, you start to just farm your land and you go, you know what? I just don't have enough money to do it. You could decrease it.
Oh, okay.
You sell a little land, things are doing different, you're getting a different job, you can increase it.
Okay.
Very flexible, okay? We use Madison National Life for this. They've been around since 1961, working in the military, postal, and federal government.
Mm-hmm.
They're a member of IHC, the Independent Holding Company, which is traded on the New York Stock Exchange with $1.3 billion in total assets. They have an A- rating from AM Best, which is an excellent rating, and that's why we use them, okay? There's 3 parts to this. The first part is whole life. You don't have any whole life now. Everything you have is term.
Right.
Which means it either runs out or gets expensive or it's not going to be there.
Okay.
The whole life will give you permanent insurance as opposed to term, tax-free cash values, the death benefit, and anything that's in your side fund in the event of your passing away would be tax-free to your beneficiaries. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Self-funding, you have an immediate death benefit. Let's take a look at your that 5%, that $100. If you don't listen to me and you send it to TSP and you keep going there and you die next week, after they tax it, let's say your wife gets $65. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's remember that $65 because when I go through this in a minute, let's see how much you would get if you put it into here. And that's why it's important. It's plan completion. It lets you complete the plan, your retirement plan that you started over here, okay? No income tax due on, no income taxes due on life insurance proceeds paid to beneficiaries.
Did you want more water?
I'm gonna need some here. I'm starting to go dry. The other part is a flexible annuity rider. It has guaranteed rates. Currently paying 5% guaranteed for the first year. It'll never go below 3%. I'm losing you here, John. Never go below 3%. Right, interest is compounded daily. You can put up to $5,000 a year into. Remember, I said 10,000. 5,000 into this. It grows tax deferred, just like your TSP, and it's taxed as ordinary income, just like your TSP.
So I can like write a check. You know, if I sell a crop or something, I can put extra money in.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Remember, I said you put lump sum. So we're going to set it up. My recommendation is when you get your income tax.
Oh, okay.
If you get, how much you get last year?
About all of it back that I put in.
Okay, well, then put half of it, because I talk to many people and they go, yeah, I just got my income tax. How much is left? I don't know, it disappeared. Well, if it's gonna disappear anyway and you've lived without it all year, why not take half every year and put it into your retirement when you're gonna need it down the road?
Yeah, I bought a baler last year.
Well, good for you. All right, the other part is a deferred annuity Roth IRA. This is the bucket that we like to fill first. Remember I said you could put up to 10,000, you could put 5,000 into the Roth IRA.
Yeah.
5,000 deal. Same benefits, guaranteed 5% the first year, guaranteed never to go below 3%. The biggest thing on this is no hidden fees, no setup fees, no account maintenance fees, no minimum balance fees.
So there's fees on the other one?
No.
Okay.
But typically when people think of a Roth IRA, you're in the stock market, there's always some type of fee. Okay? I'm just trying to clear that up. You can take 10% withdrawals out of it without any penalties. As you know, an annuity, if somebody's going to give you something guaranteed like a CD, you buy a 1-year CD, a 5-year CD, a 10-year CD.
Yeah, there's a penalty.
Right.
Okay.
Same thing on this. It's a 10-year penalty. It starts at 10%, decreases every year by 1. However, let's say in year 5 you have $50,000 in there. Okay. Well, 25,000 in there. You can only put 5,000 a year in. 25,000, and you need $1,000 to get your car fixed. You could take out 10% without any penalty. Okay. Tax deferred growth, tax free after 59.5. That's why we fill this up first. The other thing is when you retire, your TSP, let's say you've got that 300,000 in there and you don't want to touch it. The farming's going good, you sold a bunch of property, you have a minimum retirement age or a minimum disbursement, you have to start taking that money out. Roth IRA, since it's not taxable, you can leave it in there as long as you want. Okay? I have this. The problem is you should have saw me about 3 years ago because the minimum was 4%. That's when I got it. Your guaranteed minimum is 3%. The scenario I ran for you is you are 35 years old and you said you can afford that extra $3 a week.
Yeah, I can, yeah.
Okay, at least.
If I can let my wife work more.
I hope she makes more than 3 a week.
Yeah.
Anyway, at 35, if you would, whole life, you didn't have anything, you would get $64,222. $64,222.
And when, this is my death benefit?
This is the death benefit, not yours. You have to die, your wife gets it.
Oh,
Okay? Remember that scenario I told you? Take the 100, send it to TSP, you pass away next week, she'll get about 65 after taxes. Take the 100, put it in here and die next week, she'll get 64,000.
Can I do this on my wife?
You most certainly can. You can do it on both of you.
Okay.
And have it come out of your pay. Okay? A lot of couples do that.
Okay.
Okay? 35, your death benefit at age 65, it'll reduce by half at age 65. Remember I talked about self-funding. What's happening is that extra money in the second year, the renewal years, the premium cost reduces by 2/3, and that goes into your side fund with a guaranteed return. The life cash value, though, since this is a whole life, it grows at cash value also. So your cash value, if you write down here by whole life, $10,863. Your guaranteed minimum return, if it went to 3% and stayed at 3% for the next 22 years, which it's never gone to the minimum, the old policy we had, the Life Accumulated Plus, never went to 4%. The lowest one was 6.5. But for some reason, if it did, you would have a fund of 84,000, which you could write by the Roth IRA, 84,256. if you never increase this, if you never put any extra money in your social security money. So you would have a total down there, if you want to write it anywhere, is $95,120. Now what we've done here is prior to this, you have these costs going in, right?
Mm-hmm.
This would be your life insurance in retirement. You'll have an extra $64,000 whole life, so it'll give you that option down the road. Plan completion in the event something happens to you, that money could go into your wife's fund. She could open her own account, let it continue to grow, so her retirement would be done. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna do it on both of you, then you've eliminated having to get that extra insurance on her.
Oh, you
So
mean over
have
here,
the same-
this,
No, on
SPP?
her fund, remember what we were talking about? She only has 25,000 in the family plan, we
Oh,
wanted something
okay.
different. But what you've done is here with your TSP, you give them the 300,000 when you retire. Okay, and 6 months down the road, your wife reminds you promised to take her to Hawaii. The car breaks down, your tractor fails. Whatever happens, happens. You go, well, we got some money, let's go get it out of TSP. Well, no, you don't, because if you annuitize it, you kind of said, here's my money, pay me for the rest of my life, that's gone. So I taken that other 5%, putting it into a Roth IRA that'll grow tax deferred and tax free, putting it into a whole life, which will grow a cash value, you'd have $95,000, which will also gap that period between 57, 58, 59 when you retire, and when Social Security kicks in.
Okay,
You see what I mean? So it's gonna give you options.
okay, okay. What's ROP?
Return of premium.
Oh, okay.
Those have gotten very expensive, so this to me is a better plan for you right now. Does this make sense to you?
I think it will. I mean, I know I need to do something. I know that Hank over at the post office said that you came over, that you were able to help him. But, you know, in between,
Well, Hank was a very smart man,
okay,
okay? And what we're doing here is we're not even changing your pay. We're taking, and you saw what TSP did last year.
mm-hmm,
Some of those funds lost 20, 30, 40%. You're already in the stock market. And you have the best investment you can have. When you put 5% in and they match 5%, you just made 100% on your money. So even if the stock market loses money, you're still ahead.
mm-hmm,
That other 5%, this 5% here, when that loses money, that's all your money.
yeah,
So by putting it into a guaranteed return, first of all, it's going to give you cash in retirement that you need, which is available to you. Second of all, it gives you guaranteed growth over those years. Doesn't that make sense?
it does, yeah.
Okay, good. Then let's get this started.